like scary movies?
I'm kind of in the middle of an interview with Idaho Shakespeare Festival's cast of Dial M for Murder. Yeah. I guess they had the wrong number. Welcome back to an especially thrilling installment of Behind the Curtain, where I take you behind the scenes of the Idaho Shakespeare Festival's summer season. Today, I'm joined by Jody Dominic and Carrie Kawa, is that correct? From Idaho Shakespeare's production of Dial M for Murder. So this play kind of flips the concept of a whodunit on its head, because we know who the killer is pretty much from the start of the play. Tony Windice, Margot Windice's husband, is after her fortune, but let's just say while attempting to get Margot out of the picture, things don't go according to plan. Dial M for Murder has taken many forms. It was inspired by a novel by Frederick Knott and adapted into a film directed by Alfred Hitchcock in 1954. So the work has some obvious staying power. Why do you think this piece of work has withstood the test of time and continues to be reimagined?
People love, they love this kind of stuff. They love crime and murder mysteries, thrillers. I mean, I think this play is kind of more like a thriller than it is a murder mystery, because like you said, we know who done it.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think it's also nostalgic for a lot of people, that time period, and because this was such a famous Hitchcock movie, with Grace Kelly, and there's a lot of iconic things in it that people want to kind of come back and revisit, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's like the perfect balance of unsettling and reassuring. My favorite cartoon to watch when I was a kid was Scooby-Doo. And you always know how it's going to end, but there's just something so comforting, and like procedurals are the same, like it's the same formula, but you always get that moment of like, oh, maybe it's not going to happen, or maybe I don't actually know. And then it comes together in a way that's satisfying, and you can go home and be like, all is well in the world after all, maybe.
Yeah. Now, Jody, you're no stranger to a play that sort of centers on mystery and intrigue, and kind of those darker themes. You were in Murder on the Orient Express, Witness for the Prosecution, Wait Until Dark. What is it as a performer that keeps you coming back to these kind of darker plays?
They're really fun because I feel like you're kind of in your own horror film. You get to play all these different broad ranges of emotions and tactics. You feel like you're kind of in your own like horror film, and you get to play all those real extremes, which I find really, really fun. And also like dissecting the plays and trying to figure out like, wait, what, who knows what, and what just happened, and where are we, and that kind of stuff. Those conversations are really fun to have in the room. I think it's just the way that you get to play all the different spectrum of emotions and stuff in these kinds of things.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And Carrie, you've been in so many different Shakespeare productions. You were in A Midsummer Night's Dream, Much Ado About Nothing, Othello, which I see some parallels here. Do you feel like there are any Shakespearean qualities to Dial M for Murder, and how have you sort of drawn from those experiences as those characters while kind of crafting Maxine?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so well observed. This play we've all had this experience that it's actually so much more technical than we thought it would be. The language is like, you're going to recognize all of the words in the play. Lots of them are repeated many times. Letter, note, stocking, key. So the vocabulary is very basic, but it's still a heightened language, and it's still really high stakes. So that's something that we're all really bringing from our Shakespeare experience, is the ability to lift those stakes, keep the urgency, and stay a step ahead of the audience. That's really, I think, basically it.
Well said. I'd love to hear a little bit about Margot and Maxine's relationship. They have kind of a nuanced, complex relationship, I would say, and I'd love to hear what that's been like for you two as actors, kind of in the rehearsal process, crafting that dynamic.
Yeah. Margot and Maxine, are lovers. Mm-hmm. They're in love with each other. Yeah. Margot, because of where she comes from and her place in the world and the time period that it's set, can't really fully live in her truth because of the consequences of that. But I don't know, I don't want to say that there's, a happy ending with them, but they're in love.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Kind of same question to you. What has that been like?
Yeah, it's such a pleasure to work with Jody. She's so present and she's so alive in her body and in her expression. And so, getting to play the immediacy of that relationship comes just so naturally. It's like no acting required. Like here she is giving her everything in every moment, and like how can you not love that and want to preserve it and want to protect it? It's been so exciting, and I cannot wait to put it in front of people because I just think there is a lot of chemistry written into the relationship, and it mostly comes out through conflict, which is I think where we see love most of the time. The opposite of love is indifference, not hate, right? And there's definitely no indifference in this relationship.
Absolutely. The passion's there. Yeah.
Very much. Yeah. We've never worked together, but it's been really easy. Easy, It's been really fun. Yeah.
A layer that I love about this play is that Maxine is an accomplished crime writer, and Tony, Margot's husband, is not having as much luck in his writing endeavors. Do you guys feel like that kind of adds like a layer to that motive and sort of fuels him?
Shall we unwrap the male ego?
I know. No. Yeah, I mean, it's interesting because Tony, I don't know. I mean, Maxine is incredibly talented. I mean, I think it's something that they meet of the minds.
Totally.
They're sort of they riff off of each other, and I think there's a true admiration that Margot has for Maxine, and really really believes in her as a person and as a writer. And Tony, again, she's not living her truth with so there's a lot of putting on with her and Tony.
Do you think it fuels him?
Well, I think that frustrated artists are dangerous people because that has to go somewhere. And when it doesn't go to the light, it goes the other way. And I've certainly had that experience in my life when I feel like when I don't have an outlet, the emotions get bottled up and I get unhealthy. So, definitely. Yeah.
Well, ultimately, at the end of the day, I know this is a performance, but do you ever find it difficult to decompress as actors after a show that kind of has these like darker plot lines and intense emotions at the end of the night?
Yeah, I take to my bath a lot. Yeah. I'm a bath girl. I mean, I think now, and especially now because we're still building it, we're still kind of figuring it out. We're still, and we're gonna be doing that from now until pretty much, I think, even through the whole run, because like it is a process, But I mean, eventually when it sort of starts to settle in your body and you start to feel, it gets a little bit less tiring, less exhausting. I always find it hard right after work to just go home and like, we all have our rituals, whatever that is, whether that's, going home and reading or going out and having a drink or, socializing with people. So we all have our different things, but I'm definitely somebody that likes to go home and recharge.
Because I'm sure the emotional output for something like that could be a lot.
It can be.
Yeah, that's such a compassionate observation. Are you a performer too?
I wish. Back in the day, my junior high acting era.
Well, you definitely have great insight into our process. You can't really fake it, especially like Jody was saying in the rehearsal process. You really have to feel the feelings so that you can orient to the story and create the relationships. It has to come from something lived. And then over time, you can sort of affect it without being as affected by it. But it's still a rush. I mean, that's part of why we love it, is because the adrenaline, and then that just doesn't fall off immediately. You definitely do need to have, and that's part of what I love about theater is there's a ritual for it. There's a space for it. So we enter the space, we put on our makeup, we put on our costumes, we become the character, and then you get to take it off and go home, and you leave a part of yourself with the audience. But I think it's harder for people in other processes where there's not as much of a container. I really love about theater that there's a space and a time, and then you get to walk away.
Yeah, absolutely. That was beautifully said.
Mm-hmm.
Is there, without giving too much away, is there a moment from the show that you're like especially excited for audience members to see? Carrie feels, I think she
So
is.
many. Yeah. I'm excited to see, just to see what they respond to. I think we know what we think the peaks and valleys are, but I'm really excited to, like, will there be gasps?
Yeah.
Will there be moments of silence? Will there be unexpected laughter? I mean, there always is.
Yeah,
Right.
totally. And the audiences here are just so joyous and really want to be at these plays.
Totally.
It's like they're not dragged to the theater. They're so excited and they're so invested and they listen so intently, and it is surprising. So I am excited next week once we start getting in front of people, because every audience is different too. They're like the final thing, the final stamp on it is the audience, and they're all different and they react collectively to different things. So that's always fun, which is also what makes it exciting to do theater, is that no one show is alike. Like every show is different because of many different reasons, but a big reason is the audience and how they're responding to it.
What great answers without giving anything away. Spoiler free. And then finally, if you had to summarize why people should come see Dial M for Murder in 5 words, what would they be?
Suspense, drama, gorgeous costumes, and I think fun.
Yeah, I'm sold.
Yeah, I was going to say the same thing, but in 3 words.
Yeah.
Something for everyone.
Well, come see Jody and Carrie as Margot and Maxine in Dial M for Murder August 8th through the 30th at Idaho Shakespeare Festival. Thank you both so much.
Thank you.
Yeah.